Hey everyone, it's Hurley from Inklips, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to use a bunch of these all-the-new layering stamps. Today I'm using 3 different tree stamp sets, and I'm going to focus on changing this apple using some Copic coloring, making it more versatile. Alright, so for all the different stamping today on these cards, I'm going to use the all-new layering inks. I love these because it takes all the guesswork out of your stamping, and since I'm using a bunch of layering stamps today, all the colors will coordinate together, which makes it really nice and easy to use for stamping. They also stamp super solid, so that's another great plus for these inks. So I'm stamping down all these apples in a bunch of different colors from the collection in all the lightest colors. This makes it so I can color on top of it using Copics, and I also have a bunch of different beginnings to start out with, so I can make these into a bunch of different fruits. I know that my realistic coloring in this video is not so realistic. These fruits do not really look like they're supposed to, but in the end, they're just colorful and they're kind of supposed to be a bunch of different berries, and they can be magical berries because these do not look realistic at all. You guys can try your hand on them if you're better at Copic coloring than me. If you're not, then just do what I did and kind of just add a bunch of random colors to these berries. I try to make them look like realistic fruits though. Like this first one was supposed to be a pear with the green at the bottom. I added dark green, then I added orange at the top and then yellow in the middle. It's kind of a weird color combination. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but it turned out pretty well and I liked the color of it, so I decided to keep all these and just move on to my next coloring, even though that wasn't too great. So then I'm also adding a lighter green to kind of make it more vibrant and still go with the green and kind of take out some of that orange tinge to it. Then I'm going to move on to the pink ones. Now these were supposed to be apples. Laugh at me if you will. I didn't want to stamp any more down since I already had enough fruit here and this is all I was going to use on my cards. So I decided to make them peaches instead because I already started off with my oranges and pinks here. So I'm going to go in with orange and yellow, and then since it's already pink, it kind of looks like a peach, if you will, sort of. And then I also added some dark red to make it look a little bit more like a peach as well. Now to make these fruits look a little bit more like the fruit they're supposed to, I can also go outside of the lines that these stamps were meant to be and make them either a little bit more round, a little bit more longer at the bottom, or just a little bit. You can kind of make them alter the shape of them so that they don't look like an apple and that they look like the berry you're trying to go for. Then I'm going to make these ones blueberries. These are my favorite of them all because they actually turned out sort of how they were supposed to. I'm adding them a little bit of blue onto the sides. Oh, keep in mind, they're also the easiest to color, so that's probably why they turned out like this. So I'm just adding a bunch of different shades of blue, and then I'm just going to blend it all out, and then I decided that it needs to be a little bit darker for a blueberry, so I'm just adding a little bit of a darker color of blue, and you'll see that in just a second here. I'm also adding the colorless blender here to blend it all out because there wasn't a lighter color than the one I used. So I'm just adding a little touch of blue at the edge, and then it'll make it all kind of work together, and since these are a little bit darker. And like I said, I really like the finished result of those berries. These last ones are supposed to be lemons, so I'm just going to make them a little bit longer and more pointy at the end so that they kind of look like the bottom of a lemon. And then I'm also just going to add a bunch of different varieties of yellow and then blend it out. It was really simple. And then I finished those off and then fussy cut all these little fruits out. And I had a bunch of these and I'm going to set them off to the side so I can start on my color layered stamping. So I'm just going to do this on a scrap piece of paper because I'm going to be cutting these out as well. And I'm going to start off with the lightest color of green. And I'm stamping it down. Now these are all of the leafy parts, and then I'm going to take in, do that again, because I wanted it to be just a little bit darker, because some of my berries were already that light color of green. And then I'm going to be using the medium color to stamp some of these layering images. Now I was a little confused with some of these layering images, so you might see a bunch of different segments with me just stamping a bunch of different ones down, and sort of the same color as well, because I was sort of really confused on how to lay these out, but I got it after a while. And even if your layering is a little bit off and things like that, nobody is going to pick you out on that. So I always find these layering stamp sets fun, and they're not supposed to be perfect either, which makes them even more fun. So I'm just going to then stamp the branches down so that these trees have a base, and I'm going to stamp those down onto the other side using my lighter color of brown. And then I'm going to go in with my darker color of brown and kind of roll the ink pad over the image, being sure not to cover the whole stamp, but this will give it a nice blended effect and also go along with the layering image so that it's just not one color. I like how you can kind of use these stamps even though they're not layering images and the other ones are, and you can kind of sort of make them look like they were layered up, which I think is a really fun idea. And also with those fruits earlier, that's sort of what we're doing as well. Then I'm stamping the thank you image using my Missy, and that ensures that I can get all of these cards the same exact stamp sentiment in the same exact place, which really helps with placement later on. Then I'm going to add my tree branches down onto all of my cards, and after that I'm going to add the leafy top parts to all of the trees on all my cards, and I'm using that with foam tape and I'm popping it up. That way I have a little bit of a dimension on my card, and I'm also going to pop my berries up with foam tape in a little bit as well. So I'm just adding those on top of those, and I would recommend doing it in separate layers because I found that the branches didn't stamp as perfect with the treetops, so I definitely do those in separate layers and cut them out. Then I'm adding my berries on as well using some foam tape, which will give it double layers of dimension with the tree and the berries, which is awesome. And I'm going to add about 3 or 4 berries to each tree, kind of clustering them together and putting them wherever they fit. And also I'm kind of tilting the berries so that the stems are all going in different directions. That kind of makes it a more fun look, and it makes it look like it's a little bit more varied as well. I also wanted to make the trees more colorful, so I didn't add more of one colored berry to each tree, and I kind of tried to vary it with the large and small berries as well to make the trees look a little bit more unplanned. I also decided to just add a couple of little berries to the ground to add a little bit more color and fun to these cards. These are such cool little thank you cards, and I was so happy with how they turned out. I love these layering stamp sets and all the variety and differences of cards that you can get with them, and I think they make some really great little thank you cards. If you guys liked this video, don't forget to show me by giving this video a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more videos and content like this, and if you want to join the Inklips family. On screen are some more videos that I created, the top one using the Altenew layering inks that we used in today's video, and a bunch of techniques using those, and also the bottom video is a crafty Q&A where I answered all of your questions. Up in the top right corner, you can click my logo if you want to go to the blog post that featured this card, and also all my social medias on screen if you guys want to check out some of my cards and videos on there as well. All the supplies will be listed in links down below or over at my blog if you guys want to check those out and go shopping for some of the supplies that we used today in the video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon in another card making and crafting video. Bye!